round in that Texas town, about to shack outside the game. You know what I'm talking about. Just let me know if you're gonna go to that home out on the range. They got a lot of nice girls.
Look on to it, folks. Look on to it, YouTube. Look on to it. Few of you are going to say, who in the world is that? And what's going on with this guy using the Rune Dogs channel? And I'm straightening my chair out, guys. I'm sorry about that. Look on to it. Sporting my gear from when I used to ride. And I still ride when I can. I don't have a bike anymore. That's been gone for a long time, but Lord willing, and I get healthy enough through this cancer treatment, I'll be riding again, guys. I'll be riding again. And I'm praying, good Lord, keep me that I can be riding again. That's one thing of one of my goals as through this cancer treatment that I want to be able to get back into is riding my Harleys. I love them, passion. But let me stop and say, hey, everybody's going to say, oh, I recognize the voice. Where did the face go? What happened to the face? Where's the face? Where's the beard? Where's the mustache? Why is he wearing his little Harley beanie here? Guys, I gotta tell you something. One, and only one treatment has torn me up. I'm not saying that in a bad way. They said it was going to be a very strong, healthy dose of chemicals they were putting in me. I've been giving you guys updates here, there, and yonder. And sure enough, he said, the doctor told me, you might not lose your hair at all. You might lose some, but you're not going to lose it all. There's just no way that you can lose all your hair. So let's stop this video right here and say a little service announcement. This is Rune Dog, aka Kevin Spurlock from the Big Sky Country of Montana. Reintroducing myself today to this YouTube world of people naked. I have to say naked for one reason. Naked, if you want to say it that way, I said naked. Because where I come from my mama's part of the South, we all said naked. Okay, running around naked as kids. Chemo, nasty drug. The FU5 is what they call that. And then there's another one, creatinine, or I'm not sure which one I'm saying, if I'm saying it wrong, right, or indifferent. It tears your body up. It takes your hair and makes it disappear. So this is an update on my cancer treatment. All last week, they just about every stinking day of the week, well, in fact, I think it was every day of the week, they hooked me up to liquid. Now, that's the saline solution, because of the treatment that they gave me was so healthy, so strong, the strongest that they could put in a person without just literally killing them. And this is the result. I had to shave because I was eating one evening, and you know how I used to sit here, and I'm still so used to doing it. Come on, guys. I'm still so used to doing this that my hair started falling out in my food. You talk about gross and nasty, and I'm not trying to make this an R-rated. No, I'm not trying to gross people out. I'm just stating a fact that that's how nasty this cancer treatment is that they've done to me. So I had to go in and shave, basically throw my plate away, get something else to eat, whatever. You know, my beard started falling out first, so I shaved it off. But the funny thing about it is I reached up there to, you know, how you do when you got a mustache. You do this while you're eating, you're cleaning, but I had handfuls upon handfuls of hair in my hand when I did that. Just literally, to me, it grossed me out. Okay. And you're all still sitting here going, well, what's the deal with the beanie cat? Still, we're still confused here. Why is he wearing a beanie cat? I can see hair. I can see hair. There's hair. Okay. The unveiling is coming, folks. It's coming. This video is going to be a little bit of a combination of both things, but I wanted to start out with my little rant of if you've ever met a man in your lifetime, my hair's never been fancy. My hair's never been perfect. My hair's never been, but I was still pretty vain about my hair. Let me put it that way. I was still pretty vain about my hair. My hair was important to me. Okay? Has been. And through all this treatment, and if they get down to where there's a level that my body can handle, and they will continue on with treatments instead of doing this massively strong stuff, I supposedly, because last time when I had went through the cancer treatment, all my hair came back, as you folks have seen, that yeah, I had lots of hair when I started this YouTube channel before I even knew I had the cancer back. It's a reoccurring cancer. And so with that being said, things started happening pretty quick. I mean, within 2 days after the cancer treatment, I noticed bits and pieces of stuff falling off. Excuse me, folks. I was going to laugh, but I coughed instead. Because what I was saying, not body parts falling off, not things like that, just general hair. You know, everybody has hair that falls off. You get a piece of hair there and yonder and everything, and that's pretty normal. But when it starts falling out in clumps and bunches and masses, you're going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So I want to get into this because I'm going to be in this a little bit, and I hope you guys can stick it out. The ones that make it this far will stick it out to the end of the video, because that's what this is all about. This is about me updating you folks so you know where I'm at. Because I haven't been on this YouTube channel for a few days. I've been trying to figure out how I was going to explain all this to you guys and do a tobacco review and a pipe review all at the same time, so that I could give you guys a little bit of information. And I keep moving around here because I can't get very comfortable in the position that I'm in. So forgive me for that, folks. I've got there. That helped just a little bit. I've got toolboxes underneath my desk because I keep them full of odds and ends that I use to work on my pipes and that type of thing for restoration. And if I'm happen to be building one, then I can hand work, because that's all I've got is hand tools. I don't have any real, equipment to use, so I just use hand tools. But with that being said, I'll get off that part of the subject and unveil the worst part of it so far. Now, here today, tomorrow, I'm not 100% sure when it's going to happen. Yes, what little you see the sideburns here, what little you folks see in the back, my little ducktail that's there right now, because I didn't wet it down. I just left it there because if I keep doing that, And if I do this, folks, I don't know if you can see that. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't put it up there. If you can see that, I just pulled that out of the back of my head there. Okay, well, that's not trying to gross anybody out. That's what I just pulled out. So I'm going to have to shave my head, folks. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. I've got to do it. And I'm just showing this to people. There's a lot of people that haven't seen me since this has all been developing and happening and everything. So the unveiling is coming. I know I keep saying that, and I haven't done it yet. But that's what I'm talking about. Reach back there. That wasn't planned. That wasn't put together. That wasn't anything. Now, I'm going to do this again just to prove to you guys. Look at that. That's how nasty chemo and radiation treatment is. Now, I'm not on the radiation side yet, but they're still talking about plans of doing radiation if need be. But at this point, no. Now, I feel very naked. I've had the beard of mine that was now, however, I kept it trimmed there for a while, but it was the longest that I had. It was mid-chest, heavy, thick. I mean, I could grab and heavy, thick. And so you can understand what that does to a gentleman or anybody that's going through chemotherapy or radiation, how they will react to different things. Now, this is my reaction. Okay, let me put it to you folks this way, and I hope you guys that make it through this video will understand and bear with me on this, is that there's nothing I can do about it. It's going to happen. There's no reason for me to cry over it. There's no reason to get upset over it, to go off half-cocked, screaming and hollering, yelling at doctors or anything because I'm losing my hair. That's a part of a fact of the treatment. There is nothing that can be done about that unless you have the designer type of chemo that costs zillions of dollars to develop. They do have a process out there, and that's no joke, folks. They can tailor to work with your cancer, but you still keep your hair. Okay? I'm not that fortunate enough to be a gazillionaire to afford to have treatment like that because of cancer. So here I sit, no facial hair right at the moment, a little bit of stubble because it's been a couple days. I'm going to have to shave it whether I like it or not a little bit just to keep it cleaned up until we get to that point where it'll start growing back in, because you best believe it, if the good Lord blesses me to get me through this, which I'm bound and determined He's going to get me through this, that I'm going to have all that back. It may take me a while, but I'm going to have my facial hair back. But now for the unveiling, folks. Here it comes. There you go, folks. That is not to scare little kids or chase anybody away. That is nothing to complain about. That is nothing to get upset over. That is nothing other than, yeah, it looks like I got a little bit of hair around here. And definitely, like I was showing you, I've got hair in the back. But if I did that, there we go, folks. Just that little bit of a tug. So it's got to be shaved off. It's got to be cleaned up. I just left it there because it's my last ditch effort to say I got a little bit of hair. and I'm joking about this, guys. Don't think that I'm complaining about this, because I'm not. It's just a fact and a part of life with chemotherapy treatment. There's not a thing that can be done about it. So folks, look on it, see it, See my bald spots that are so patched and bad that it's just unbelievable. So without further ado, I'm not going to keep scaring everybody and go, oh my God, that's a freak. I don't want to watch that. That scares me. That, he's the boogie monster or whatever the case may be. Nah, I'm not trying to do that, folks. I just want you guys, this is my update to show you that one and only one treatment of this massive, strong, can kill me, could have killed me, chemo treatment. One. And look what it's done to me. So, to let you guys understand and know that I'm still here with this community, okay? And see, there's my vanity trying to fix my hat so I look like... I say my vanity, just trying to look to humor about the whole situation. So this looks better. I like this. I've had my Harley gear for a lot of years. I lost my bike a lot of years ago. I still want another bike, so it's stinking bad. I can taste it. I lost the chance to get a couple bikes, but hopefully here through situation and wishful thinking, I might be able to come back up with another one, just to take a few short rides around town, around the block, and then park it. If I get somebody to even let me borrow a bike that trusts me well enough, that thinks I've got enough strength to ride a bike, and I'm talking about a Harley. I'm not talking about something that was made overseas. I'm talking about an American-made Indian, or because I owned Indians and well, excuse me, let me take that back. I never owned an Indian, but I've owned Harleys, okay? Either or, when they're a V-twin, potato bike, I'm the happiest. I can ride for hours, used to ride for hours, come home, relax, and be the most peaceful man on earth after I've been on a bike ride. Love it. So, with all that being said, I go in on the 14th of this month, for my next nasty treatment of chemo again. They're going to pump me full of it once or twice, maybe 3 times. I'm not 100% positive on this until they figure out what they're going to do as a base maintenance chemo, because what they're trying to do is, because the cancer was moving so quick that they wanted to try to arrest it and start shrinking it as quickly as they could to save me, basically, prolong my life, which I think I'm going to live forever with the cancer or without the cancer. I'm still going to live forever. So that's my attitude, with the Lord's will and the doctors and God guiding the doctors to do what they need to do. I'm going to live through this stuff. I want to be able to go hunting. I'm going to be able to go fishing. I want to be able to go on that bike ride, like I said, I want to so bad. I want to do those last things in my life before I perish. And the Lord takes me home to meet Him and be with the rest of my family that's there in heaven right now. And that choked me up when I say that, because it'll be a glorious day when that happens. But while I'm on the face of this earth, I want to enjoy the face of the earth. Not in the bad way, in the good way through God and this YouTube community and everybody that's been supporting me and guiding me through this. There's several people that I can mention real quick, but I don't need to. Most of you know who my closest friends are, but I will say this YouTube family, this YouTube pipe community family, is my close family right now. I've got friends and family around here that I deal with and conversate with and associate with. But you guys, me going on here every day and watching your videos and keeping up with your reviews and and Sergeant Savinelli's little everyday little puns that he does and funnies that him and I throw back at each other. Him and I are such good friends in that capability that we can say things back and forth. He can say things to me. I'm not embarrassed, and he's not going to hurt my feelings if he says something to me. No. There's other folks. I'm just using him as an example, okay, guys? Because him and I conversate through our little ditties back and forth to each other. Because how else are you supposed to get to life? How are you supposed to have humor in a day and say, that was pretty funny, that was pretty good, that's going to help me get through my day. I'm going to enjoy the day because that little thing sticks in my mind, and every time I think of it, I laugh about it for what Sergeant Savinelli said. So I appreciate that. This whole community is that way. The whole YouTube community is that way. So there's my update. I go back in on the 14th for another one. After that one, when I get, because it's going to knock me down for a few hours, a few days, I don't know. I might be able to get right back up, post another video on how it went. I don't know. And I'm already into this video, almost 21 minutes. But I need to keep you guys updated, and I apologize for time frame. But please stick with me. Please stay with me. Please keep me in your thoughts, your minds, your prayers. And with further ado, before I get too far here, Cornell and Dill. Okay, guys, Cornell and Dill. This is cross-eyed cricket. I've never tried it, never had it. I bought 2 tins of it because the only way you can get it is in 2-ounce tins. And then after I bought it, then I found out, oh yeah, they do make 8-ounce tins, or I'd have bought just an 8-ounce tin and screwed buying the little ones. But I bought it, so if I don't care for it as much as I thought, now see, I hadn't even popped the top, I hadn't even broke the seal. So this is my inaugural on this. Well, that popped really easy. Didn't give me or anything, but it still popped okay. Ooh, that's got a smell to it. Guys, that's got a really, really, not a bad smell, just a different smell that I'm used to. And it's a little wet on the tin, a little bit spotty, on the cardboard. Usually the cardboards are pretty dry, which means that this particular tobacco, yes. And I should have, but I wanted to, guys. I was going to show you this. You can see how wet that is on that one little bottom corner there, and then turn it around. How that it's spotty, wet from there. There's no signs, and believe you guys, I will tell you this, guys. I do know what the smell of mold in tobacco is. So please don't think that I may have got a bad batch there or whatever the case may be. No, that is, I'm dumping out some ash that I shouldn't have been in that particular tray. That's my tobacco tray, not a ash tray. But I'm telling you that for a reason, guys. I don't see anything wrong other than it's got a different type of smell. And that different type of smell to me, which I forgot to do, and I will do this real quick. I'm not going to read that stupid warning. I think unsweetened black Cavendish, Turkish, Latakia, and Perique, all enclosed in a light rum punch flavor. Okay, that's what I'm smelling more than anything, is the topping. I don't smell any of the tobaccos other than a little bit of the black Cavendish, and Yeah, I can smell the Perique in the Latakia very lightly, hintly coming through this. Okay, so I do smell that. Um, but I smell the rum, the topping. I smell that rum, that sweet. We won't get into that. That's the reason why I've been on the wagon for, and I hate to say this to anybody, but I haven't, I don't drink. Okay, it's been 30 some odd years since I've had a drop of whiskey or rum or scotches or any type of squeezes, as we want to call it. I like to smell that. I get that. And then I finally hit the Perique. Okay. Because I know what the Perique smells like. Believe you me. And Latakia sometimes smells a little bit of that also. What we call that little bit of a burnt rubber smell. But it's not. It's just that sensation that it gives you. So without further ado, I should say, not further ado, without further ado, I want to make sure my bowl doesn't have any hair or anything in it. So forgive me real quick, guys, while I'm just finger wiping out my bowl because I don't want any foreign debris in there other than what I'm going to put in here. This does have a little bit of, you can see just a little bit. That's not really, how I want to say that. That's not a twig or a vein in the tobacco per se. That's just a good dried piece of heavier hard. And I know this is going to be hard to light and hard to keep lit because it is very, very, very moist. It needs to be set out for 15, 20 minutes. And I wanted to show you guys the flake on it, the ribbon cut. And it's got a very, very nice ribbon cut. And I don't want to get too much of this because I'm probably not going to be able to smoke a full bowl of it. And I've got more than enough for a full bowl of it already. More than enough for a full bowl. And it's got some good pieces in it now. I did come across, this is just a rolled piece of tobacco leaf that's been tightly packed. And they do get a little bit hard. You can pick them apart and still get them in your bowl and burn them. Now I'm going to close this back up because I do not want to lose, because I got to get it in my cellar jar. I got to get my label made yet. I found some more programs today, which I'm excited about, that has a bunch of tobacco labels already in the program, which surprises me. So you can do your cellar containers because that helps me out. It doesn't have them all, but it has a good major majority of Cornell and Deal's, and I wished I didn't have to. This didn't have to dry as well as I wished it. Wished it was already dry, but it because all of you guys know, as time has gone on, and here's part of me. That's part of my hair right there. How that happened, I don't know, but I got to get rid of it because I don't want it in the tobacco. But what I was going to do is I was going to break in this pipe. Now everybody's going to look at this pipe and go, "What in the world is that?" Now that's a very dark Kelly green. Okay, is what that is. It's a very dark with a few coats of carnauba on top of it after I dyed it and everything. Now, people are going to look at this and go, well, whose manufacturer it is and everything. Well, unfortunately, Mr. Chris Morgan's little emblem that's on here, you can barely, if you look really, really, really super hard, and you folks aren't going to be able to see it because the dye's actually overcoated and soaked in to the little bunny bones on there. So it is a Mr. Bones Chris Morgan pipe, and I can prove that because I still have my bag for it, that it'll always be stayed with. so that you know that it was a natural pipe that I decided, just one day decided, well, what the heck, you know, I could smoke it just bare and leave it the way it is, because that's what a lot of people do. But I decided against that, and went ahead and stained it, and then carnaubaed it, cleaned everything up, put my softy bit on it like normal, because I don't want to chew through the stem on the button end of it. I don't want to ruin the button and the mouthpiece. I just don't want to do that. Now, I know that's hard for you guys to see, because it's going to look basically black to most of you. Now, if I can get it up there just right and everything, you can get that hint of the green in there when I turn it just right. And there should be one spot on here right there. If I can do this right, folks, you can see. Well, I'm going to try something else. One more thing real quick, and then I'll get off this and get this pipe packed and everything. There you go. There's the green, guys. That's the green. That's the, I call it my panel green dragon. Rusticated panel green dragon. With the scales on the one side and everything. It looks that way. And it is definitely green. You can tell that with the light shining on it right. It's just awesome, gorgeous. I think it turned out very nice. It's not as light in color as I actually wanted it, and I could still clean the carnauba off of it if I wanted to take time and effort and do a little bit of a different color on it to take some of that off there. But I like how the natural underneath, natural briar comes through there. You can see that right there where the lights kind of got the shine underneath the bottom, and then you turn it a little bit, you can see the natural in it. That's what that's all about, guys. And I'm going to see if I can turn this and do this way for you guys too. So you can see all the dimensions of what I'm talking about, how that comes through there very nicely. The rim, I think I did a very good job on the rim on this particular one. I'm finishing it out. Sorry about that. I'm trying to get it up there so we can see that. The rim turned out pretty good. I want to put, now on the rims of my pipes, and I'm going to go ahead and smoke this one just the way it is. That's only got maybe 3 coats of carnauba on it. And by the time I'm done with this, I'm sorry for that, folks. Just heard traffic out there, and I'm on a cul-de-sac, so when traffic comes down, I definitely pay attention, because generally speaking, we don't get that much traffic on our street except for my next door neighbor. So I just wanted to make sure it's one of his workers. Anyway, so when I'm done with this thing, I'll probably have at least close to 10, and I'm not joking, 10 to 15 coats of carnauba just on the rim. And I do that for obvious reasons. I keep telling you guys that, because using your lighter and stuff on these pipes and stuff, eventually you start to get a char around the top of that. I can take with the carnauba that I have done this with, and I've done several pipes, and I can take it, buff a layer or two of the carnauba off there. It'll take the discoloration of the char, unless I just happen to make a mistake and burn the pipe. And I've only done that once that I can remember. I ruined the pipe. But with that being said, that I can save the rim of the pipe, because that's important to me. If you ever, and I'm not saying you have to. Now, this has only been sitting here for just a few minutes, and it's starting to take on the characteristics that I'm looking for. Even though I know it's still going to be, because it's still got it. I can feel it in my fingers, guys. I can feel it on my fingers. I meant to bring it up here so you guys can see what I'm talking about. And I'm sorry about that. I'm not watching my screen. I'm watching what I'm doing. So, then I'm actually rubbing it out just a little lightly. I don't want to break up the ribbon too much of this, because I want the ribbon. So with all this being said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get this bowl packed. Now, my technique is not the same as everybody's technique. I do things a little bit differently. I start out this way, guys. I get a good amount in there before of loose stuff. I've always been that way as long as I can remember. When I used to smoke pipes, and then I quit for the longest time, and then I've gone back, like I said, just last however many months. I get that pretty well full. Now, some guys will, now this is just a cheap tamper that I built because it's an old cheap set of junk screwdrivers that I've had from years ago. It's got a nice blade on it still, and it'll adjust my butane lighters really well. And then I put a 45 auto shell on. I ground that down to where that fits on there, and I mean it's so tight you can't get it off there. That's how I didn't have to use any glue or anything. I did put a little bit of weight in I used lead and heat it up and melt the lead inside there just to give it a little bit of weight for tamping purposes. Let me get this up here so you can see this. Now a lot of guys will do this. They'll sit there and just sit there and tamp. I have found out by tamping this way. Now tamping the ash is one thing with your tamper. Yes, but for tamping your pipe to get the consistency that you like on how tight that you get your pipe, and I'm sorry for school 101 on packing a pipe, but this is just my process of doing it. Everybody does it differently. Everybody has their own way. What works for you works for you. What works for somebody else may not work for you, but that's just the way it is. So I usually take my bad finger, as we want to call it, and I take that and I start going around in a circle. And I go back around in a circle again because it gets far enough, and if I have to, I just switch around. And then I pack it down that way. And now you can see that after, it's hard to see that, and I apologize again because I want to do this, is you can see how deep, but I got a full complete draw. And that draw off a clean briar and that cross-eyed cricket tobacco is delicious. That dry draw with no smoke, no fire yet. That's delicious. So I may get just one bowl out of what I've got here. You guys can see what I do is I don't put a real hard tamp on it. I just get it down to where and then we always check our draw to make sure that tastes good. That's a good flavored tobacco, guys. Very, very good flavor. And this is one of my first, now I will tell you this, guys, this is one of my first pipes that I have ever smoked, and I've got hundreds of pipes, as everybody might have learned over. Now I'm doing this on the top because I don't want a real heavy, and I will still use my finger. I'm going to do it anyway. And I'm still getting more than enough in there. I think I'm out to the point I got just enough left if I want to, after I get going, after a while I can finish filling it up the rest of the way, just to finish off what's in my little tobacco tray that I use for filling and weighing and all that stuff. Yeah, I think I'm going to stop right there, folks. Now that's a pretty well packed pipe. I mean, it's not, I do the bottom the way that I do the bottom because I like that, and then the top I get lighter as I go. But I still want to tamp it. The reason why I do that, I get enough air draw through there, through the top, to get this thing burning, and it helps it. Now, and the reason why I said that, because of wet tobacco. Now, a lot of people will understand what I'm saying when I say this. Don't overpack the top quite as much as you do the bottom half of the bowl. You can still get a good draw. That is dead. Oh God, I'm already in heaven on the flavor without even lighting it yet. The flavor is just awesome. But the reason why I do that, because this will burn just a little bit quicker. I still got a little bit left in my bowl, so I can still add to it. A lot of guys don't like that, but I do. I add a little bit every once in a while when I'm smoking, if I just happen to pull a little bit too much out of my my container and I've got some left over. Pardon me, I need to wet my throat. There we go. That's better. Now I can talk better. My throat is starting to get dry on me. Now, I do that because what that does is the looser stuff, if it's not too loose. Now let me stress that. Too loose. Too loose, it just burns really quick, and then it doesn't create the heat to help dry and pull that air through the rest of the tobacco to keep drying it as you're smoking it, to get your proper burn, to get your taste, and everything out of your tobacco as you're burning your bowl, smoking your bowl, whatever you want to call it. But for me, I do that just on that little, maybe a quarter of the bowl or whatever. I'll leave it just enough loose. That helps with sometimes. For me, it helps me sometimes dry the rest of the tobacco enough that I can smoke through the bowl. Because you've all seen me, and if you haven't seen me, go back and watch some of my videos. I have some of the most miserable time keeping a pipe lit that it's unbelievable. So let's see how this works, because I've been on here way too long. I want to get off here, let you guys get through this video that are going to get through this video, but I want to give you my first impressions on this cross-eyed cricket real quick. We're back to my standard, the one I like, my most favorite tamper that's I ever made myself. Okay, got my initial tamp, guys. Let's see how well it'll stay lit, because it's pretty moist stuff. I just did that retro hell there just to get a little bit of a difference. And I will tell you up front, there is no nasty, so far, what I call that initial Perique and Latakia, because your Perique is usually you're spicier than the Latakia, usually, not always, depending on what ratios they use to make the stuff, as I'm beginning to learn. It's not that I know everything, guys. Don't think that I'm saying that. I'm just saying that I've learned a lot of stuff over the last few months. That it's been a journey on a learning experience on tobaccos. I like it. That's a mild. I have not got a tongue bite whatsoever out of this. The Perique, you can tell it's there. Latakia, that hint of that Latakia is there. Don't get me wrong, it's there, but it's not. They're not overpowering each other. The whiskey, now rum, I should say. Rum is whiskey as far as I'm concerned, but it's rum. It's a fruit based. Get on the right side of here. Now, I have a hard time with Turkishes. Okay, Turkish tobacco. I don't understand everything that there is to know about Turkish tobacco, and I don't want to claim to ever know anything about them. When they're mixed in the right proportions with the rest of your tobacco, I like them. Okay, I will say that I like them. And this so far is blended. Now, I before I even got on here, I read a bunch of reviews this morning on purpose for this tobacco, and just so I can get a base idea of what other people thought. There's only been one or two reviews that said, nah, they just don't like it. It's not their forte, cup of tea, whatever the case may be. I already, just on this first impression, this is another crossover tobacco. Please, you got to understand and bear with me when I say this is a crossover tobacco, because there's enough of the English-based blend stuff in there that it tastes great. Now, I will have to say this, guys. Now, a lot of first things that people, well, you like Frogmorton Cellar. I love Frogmorton Cellar. I wish I could get about 4 or 5 pounds of that to keep me for the rest of my born days. But we know that it's gone, so there's no way to get it. This is awful, awful, awful stinking close, but it's not the same. I don't know if anybody will ever be able to reproduce, recreate, reinvent Frogmorton Cellar or any of the Frogmorton line. You can get close. Don't say that I'm crazy that we can't get close. Yeah, we all can get close, but can we get the same stuff? No. We can't get the identical same stuff. This cross-eyed cricket is close enough for me with a little bit different nuances that I like it. I like it very much so already. And I know I got to relight it, but yeah. That it's got a close enough nuances and flavors to it. I think it could be the Latakia. Excuse me, folks. I don't know what that was. It came out of the pipe. That's all I can say. And I think it's actually, even though I ran brushes, I always swab them out, wipe them out, brush them out before I smoke them, because we don't know through shipping and handling and whatnot. So I do a basic swab out, and I still got something out of the pipe. So it may have been a chunk of the tobacco. I don't know. For all I know, it could have something fell out between my teeth. And that's just a funny haha. Because I haven't ate today, so I don't know what. But believe you me, so far, guys, I will do a second opinion on it, on my own type situation. But at this point in particular time, that will be in my rotation. I don't know how to say this. I used to have a top 5 that I would rotate, because, you know, your taste buds, after so long, you need to switch around. And that's the reason why most of us end up with as many tobaccos, because I always use my wife as an example, and I don't want to be picking on her, because she's a piece of gold to me. She's my love of my life, and I don't want to ever say. But she says, well, why can't you just pick one? You don't need 15 different ones of these things, because they're all the same. It's just tobacco. Well, it's not. And us smokers that do smoke enough, or as often as some of you do, there's a difference. So I don't know how I'm going to put all these tobaccos, and I got a kid poking his nose through the door telling me something. But anyway, back to where I was at before the dog interrupted. But and here she comes. Tater Tot. Sorry, folks. Now you know the dog's name. Goofy name, but it's what she came with. So. And she went out on me. But I like this. This will be a good rotational, and maybe one, two, maybe between what little Frogmorton I've got left and a couple other ones, it may be one that I rotate through more often than what I do the rest of them, because I like it. I so far so good. Second impressions will give me a little bit more, and I will give you an update on that. I won't do an actual second impression, but I will do a review of it, just letting you know how I felt about it after I smoked it for a second time, that is. And I don't know how that got twisted. That is freaking tight. There we go. That is not so freaking strong that, sorry, I didn't mean to say it that way, but it's not so strong that the Latakia and the Perique and the Turkey override each other. They complement, they marry each other, they flow through the mouth, the tongue, the taste buds. There is, and this is what's surprising to me, guys, with the whiskey, I keep saying whiskey, with the rum punch that's on there, that you don't, because most of the alcohols and the fruits, a lot of them, when they're so top cased, as we want to say, infused with that type of stuff, you get that tongue bite. I have not had any tongue bite out of this. Not at all. No lip burn, no tongue bite, no nothing. And I'll explain that real quick. We know, everybody knows that's been smoking forever and a day, knows about the vortex, creating that draft through there to get your embers going, get everything hot. I also do that for another reason: to pull that heat across your tongue, to pull the flavors across your tongue, to pull that Perique, because the Perique is, don't say that I don't know this, but Perique is the spice, one of the spicy parts of a lot of tobaccos. That'll give you that. If they overwhelm it with a lot of Perique, you'll get that tongue bite. Some guys like that. I like it where the essence is there, and you know you got a little bit of a tingle, tweak on your tongue and flavor. There's a lot of them out there that's even stronger than that, and I still like them. I just don't smoke them as often because of that, because then your tongue can get a little bit what I call the chemical burn, and then you got to rest your tongue and mouth for a few days to be able to go back and smoke something else. So so some of those you have to smoke in moderation, or pack your pipe a little bit differently, or however to smoke them, break them up differently. Loosely pack them, tightly pack them, depends on the tobacco. We all know that that's why there's so many different tobaccos out there, so many different tastes, so many different personalities of people. And like I said, this stuff is a little wet still, and there's nothing I can do about this, because I knew this was going to happen. It was going to be wet, and people are going to say, "Oh, there he is again. Can't." Almost an hour into a video, and he can't keep a pipe lit. No, this stuff is wet, and I did this video without drying it because I wanted to open it on screen so you guys know that I'm doing this just as blind as can be on the taste test and on the opening and the 10 note and the room note is just excellent in here. So I give this a 5-star. Now, some of you will say, well, my opinion, me personally, I give it a 5-star. I like the taste of it. I like the smell of it. I even like the burn of it if it would stay burning, because the burn on it's not bad at all. The tongue across your tongue is not hot, not spicy, not anything. That rum flavor you're getting across there is excellent. So, and the Cavendish, the black Cavendish, I guess I've probably experienced black Cavendish in a few other tobaccos, but really haven't. They just call it Cavendish. But when they say black Cavendish, that means it's a special leaf that they use off the Cavendish tobacco plant to make their tobacco. It's good. I like it. So with all that being said, guys, 55 minutes is into this video for a while. I hope you guys stuck it out and stayed with me and got my update on my cancer and my review of Cross-Eyed Cricket from Cornell and Diehl. I think you will not go wrong with that tobacco. I think you will like it. I think a lot more of us need to smoke it. I'm going to, if I get a chance and not get my ass kicked from here to Timbuktu, I'm going to buy it, because they only come in 2-ounce or 8-ounce. And I'm going to buy me an 8-ounce tin to go along with these 2-ounce tins that I've got. So I can get close to, well, that'd be 12 ounces. Well, with what I pulled out of here, so I'll have enough to keep me for a few weeks. I always say a few weeks. I know it's a few months, but keep me for a while. So I like the Cross-Eyed Cricket. I give it a #1's thumb up. A 5 on my meter. My star meter is a 5. So with all that being said, thank you guys for all your prayers, support. Keep praying for me. Keep supporting me. Keep watching my videos. I appreciate all of you. I love all of you. I don't know how to thank you enough for all your well wishes that you've given me. And let's keep this YouTube community going. I love it. I love everybody here. You guys have been great to me, and I appreciate it. You got to see my baldness and all my hair coming out. So, you know, it's still me. It's just that I'm falling apart on the head side. So with that being said, you guys have a good rest of this weekend. And let's have a good, great week. Like I said, the 14th of this month, I do my next really super nasty treatment. Keep me in your prayers that I make it okay through that. So with that being said, good day, everybody. Keep your pipes lit and your matches dry, as they say. I just threw that in there for a pure heck of it. So thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
Rumors spreading round in that Texas town about the shack outside the game. And you know what I'm talking about. Just let me know if you wanna go to that home out on the range. They got a lot of nice girls.